Welcome to this Zooming Wellness session with the intent to add some fitness, as today is our subtler somatic session, the idea of mindful movement for the sake of building resilience over time. These are subtle somatics, so we're fairly gentle and progressive. It shows the current session here on the left side of the front panel, the automatic waiver for participating since this is an online course, the encouragement to sign in through the chat box, and we have opened with some help early on. At the beginning of this, I shared a little faith moment per a little calendar book and encourage other participants to join in on that. And we continue with some social time. That's in a document that I send out. If you'd like to send me your email through mine or through the chat box, that works out great and I can get that information to you. So for the beginning of this particular subtler somatic session, where we will be on the mat in the back. So this image represents, let me go here, that idea, and then we'll move into standing. To start, we're going to build up circulation and some energy to carry us through the middle of our subtle somatic mindful movement work. The music that's going to accompany that is a bit lively. And let me put on the one, we're going to jiggle for 5, so I'll put that on the timer. And I'll go back for a full body jiggle today. On Tuesdays, we do it from a chair, and you have the option to add that. And the music should be flowing through. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Since it's feeding through the back of my computer, I use this speaker to help me. There's our jiggling sound. I've got a long cord on this to come back to my full body space, a little twisted this morning. And a jiggle starts with a little heel bounce. And the idea of letting the hands go loose. We can go any width on that good jiggle, letting the shoulders join in just to build up a little bit of circulation and energy. I look pretty dark in this over for warmth, and jiggling starts to increase our warmth as well. I'm going to set my microphone up in the higher spot for better picking up my voice. And the idea, we can let the hands get more in on our jiggle. What's fun is that when we're jiggling at the top, those hands really get to jiggling. That's in an outward plane. We can go in the forward plane as well with our good jiggling. Soft knees. And I like to bounce around a little bit as my heels continue in that jiggling mode. If I get tired of jiggling with my heels, I can just jiggle my hands. We can walk with it, have fun with it, move around with it. We can jiggle our hips. A little hard to jiggle your heels and your hips, so one or the other is great. The idea is just to have fun with it, not be worried about how you look or where you move. Letting that body enjoy some loose movements. I was diagnosed with osteoporosis last year, and this is good for helping my bones to build and maintain their density. So I am an avid jiggler. Great way to get the day started. Adding in whatever you like. Keep jiggling for a couple more minutes. Just in place is great. There was mention of on the chair. And that works well too. That bouncing heels, those loose arms. So you have options if your jiggle gets a little tiring. Just put it in a place where it works for you. Having fun. Mixing it up. Looking forward to having you join us for a variety of the portions of our session. We have social before the jiggle it, and we'll have social again at the end. There's mindful movement for good body work and good mental work in the middle, and a body scan at the end. And then after that, we have a combined social with the next group coming in for our lively Zumba. So currently we've got our muscles and our bones being ready to remind us we're going to take good subtle care of that. We've got our skeleton here and our posture purple pole to remind us that if we are ever in a sitting position, we're working on that posture, as well as in our standing position. Soft knees, hips centered a bit. And that warmth worked out well for me in our jiggle. And we'll carry that good energy that we just developed through our subtle moving time. So when I'm up here, the computer catches my voice and I see my microphone wiggle. And in the back, I have another microphone that comes up to a speaker that's right here, and that brings my voice to wiggle that microphone. So I look forward to the sound being of good quality on these recordings. I'm going to set this for our 45 minutes of subtle somatics, mindful movements, and this week's focus is on connecting the hemispheres of the brain, the right and the left, both working together for our movements. Last week, we worked more on a rest and digest area for the sake of befriending, tending to our bodies so we can befriend them. And today is going to be more a crossover of the brain. We have talked about the breath moving from the high point where the lower brain tends to be activated for fight and flight or freeze. And that's really close to the nervous system. So we want to move outward in our subtle work. So we're working to bring the breath down more towards the middle so that emotional brain and that reasoning, thinking brain are better activated, even bringing the breath down into the lower area of the diaphragm so that the better thinking can happen in the crossover of the hemispheres and more creative problem solving more in this frontal lobe part of the brain. So we use the breath and continue that work. We'll be mindful to cross over. We're going to start on our backs. I've got the microphone to move back down. And the soft music was intended to be on. I'll double check that. And our playlist with the soft is coming on. I'm checking the volume at that level, and I'm checking up above, turning it down a little bit so it's just soft in the background. You can also choose your own music, and I hope you enjoy that soft background feel. I have the minutes set. I'm going to pull my music up a little bit. I really enjoy music, and there are many benefits to it. So it is a good thing to have on hand. I'll move that over a little bit and that over a little bit. As we ease into our supine position, your head gently rested on your surface. Hands can be down, palms down, jiggling those hips a little bit to be comfortable, relaxing into that back, And we're going to start with just a few breaths as we work to bring that breath down into the lower part of the diaphragm as our target. The inhale and the exhale, releasing our troubles. Inhaling what's good for us and exhaling all that doesn't serve us. One more good deep breath. Intending to keep that good breath work going. In through the nose if you're not congested, and out is the target. Use your mouth. Outward breath is needed. We're going to start to roll that right hand. If it's more comfortable to roll up here or in a fist, no worries. And that's reverse and go the other way. Excellent. Keeping that good breath going. The goal is for our inhale to be shorter than our exhale. So let me reverse that. The exhale being longer than the inhale. And a little bit more rotating that opposite hand. Very good. Placing that back down. Let's lift that right foot up and exhale, press it down. The left foot up and exhale, press it down. Let's lift the right hand and the left foot on the inhale, and then make that exhale a little longer as they relax back down. Switching to the other side, and that longer exhale intent. This time we're going to raise the arm and the foot. Longer exhale down. Excellent. Lifting again on the other side, the combo, crossing over both sides of the brain. You can have your eyes open or closed. Let's finish with 3, both up and both down. The inhale on the up, as if there's strings tied, and then they slowly return. A good inhale, targeting a longer exhale. Let's take a moment to reflect on where we feel energy now in our body. If there's any tensions, feel free to wiggle them out or adjust for a moment so that we can go back into our movement. This time, as we take our breath in, let's take the arm all the way up. If you have no tension, feel free to bring it all the way over. And on the longer exhale, we're intending to let it out. And then we'll switch. Left arm, right foot. If you have it cross the other way, no worries. One more time, both sides. Incorporating more of our body into that movement. Very good. Resting to reflect on where our energy may have changed, or if it's the same, whether any new tensions get wiggled out. Now we're going to place our feet flat. The target position is for your shoulders, your hips, and your knees all to be the same distance apart. If you want to drop them in or drop them out or move them out or in to eliminate any tensions that you sense, feel free to do that. In this position, we're going to add a little bit more into the strength through the middle, still letting the breath come down, inhaling on the bridge coming up. And the target is to have shoulders straight through hip to knee. Then exhaling, lowering back down. Let's do 3 of those. The inhale on the bridge, and then the exhale intended to be a little longer. Well done. One more. Working into that good spine. Now let's take one arm up and over, adding in more of the body. On the second one, it's the alternate arm. Continuing that good breath. Subtly moving our body, allowing the brain to have the crossover. If at any time distracting thoughts come in, try to let them just float by and go back to focusing on that good breath. Reflecting on our energy. We're going to add a little bit more on this time. We're going to keep the center back. If you put your hand under there, you've got a good curve to your spine, but be mindful to adjust it as needed be to release the tension. We're going to bring both arms up to this point. Continue with one over. And then when they are at the same place in your peripheral view, let's float them back down. Raising again, taking the other arm over on that inhale, beginning the exhale on its return, and floating both down. The next, if you'd like to add your bridge, working the body a bit more. Same pattern, well done. The other arm gets its turn. And on these supine positions, if you close your eyes and peek at your hands possibly, let's do one more on each side. If you want to go into full bridge as the time goes forward for our movements together, feel free to do that. We'll release it in that full position, taking the other good arm through the pattern. Well done. Exhaling, reflecting. Let's bring the legs down. Taking a couple good breaths as we reflect on where we're feeling energy in this practice at this point. Let's bring those feet back under. Add a leg to it and inhale up. And a gentle inhale down, returning the foot, switching for the other. You can just do the leg or add the bridge. Full leg or bent, either. Working a little bit of the lower muscle on that long leg extend. If you had your eyes closed, it's that lower abdominal area that long leg supports. Very nice. Let's lengthen and reflect on energy now that we've applied a bit more. A 2-count breath reflect. We're going to move into a belly down position, so gently switching, knees under hips, back flat, hands under shoulders. We're going to go back with the hips. You can adjust your knees outward depending on the space that you would like to sink down in. And let's hold here and identify where our starter energy is in this belly down position. Raising up to that firm, it's as if we're a 4-legged table. Lifting the head and then lowering it as we lower the body back towards the heels. Let's be specific about a 4-count up, 2, 3, 4 into the lift, and let's endeavor a 5 or a 6-count back. If it's just 4, that's okay. We're intending to build. 1, 2, 3, 4. You may go faster or slower, and that's okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do one more in the 4 up at your pace. And the back. And let's hold and reflect on energy there. Adjust any tension. You can relax those shoulders. And on the next set, let's go for a 5 inhale and a longer exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift our gaze in spirit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's continue that 2 more times, endeavoring a 5 at the end of the inhale and a 6 at the end of the exhale. One more time. As you reflect on energy, I'm going to check what my dings are. And I thought I turned my phone off, so I will do that to eliminate any further dings. All right. Our reflection position is our resting points. This is our one for our belly down. And let's come back into this position. Let's do a 4 count into a chest up through the arms and come back down for this set. Into that table, pressing that chest a little bit forward as we lift that good gaze to lift our spirits. And the third. Resting to evaluate energy, whether it's the same or different. And let's slowly, subtly come up, and we'll go up into a standing position. Our basic stand is intended to have shoulders, hips, knees Feet same distance apart as those good hip bones where the bones are. No matter how far out, the bones are our guide under those good shoulders. We're looking not to have the hips pushed back. Good morning, Betty. I am in the ending minutes of our Subtle Somatics session. You're welcome to join in. We've just moved to standing. It's a 10:30 social and an 11 o'clock start for Lively Zumba. So we're halfway through our somatics, and you're welcome to join in. I was just showing our tall position and the idea of bringing our feet now a little wider than hips. We're going to practice bringing that breath down and letting it exhale out. Soft knees. Working still to have the exhale be longer than the inhale. Now we're going to add some movement. I want you to imagine our arms are like clock hands. This would be the 3 o'clock side, the 9 o'clock side. This would be a quarter after and a quarter before the top of the hour. So this would be our quarter after. These would be our 20 after and our 20 before. We'll also use a 10 after and a 10 before. For some reason, my screen is a little showing lower than I expected, so let me adjust that a little bit. All right. So, in addition to not having the back arch that way, we're trying not to overly press the front. So the neutral is what we're going for in that tall spine position. Let's take our breath out, 20 after on the inhale, bringing it back on the exhale. Then the opposite side, because we're working both hemispheres of the brain in our movement. Let's add again. We'll do 2 at each clock position, starting at 20 after, then 20 before. As we move into the 3 after, let's go for the 4 count, inhale, and then the 5 or 6 count, exhale, return. 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, targeting 6. Let's repeat that at the quarter after, possibly going a little further back in the reach and coming back in the longer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take 2 up to the 10 after, starting on one side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alternating. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once more, considering reaching further back. Excellent. And again. Well done. Let's hold here and sense where energy might be the same or different than our beginning point. Releasing any tension that might have built up and holding that good posture. Very good. Let's take both through the pattern, 2 at 20 after and 20 before. Bringing it back in on a longer inhale. Let's take it to 3 and 9, a quarter after, a quarter before, longer back if you like. Excellent. 10 after, 10 before. Very nice. Let's repeat the 10 after, the 10 before, and come back down in our movements. Opening, yes, on that good inhale, possibly further back. Awesome. And that 20 after and 20 before. Very nice. Pausing is important as our positions, reflecting on our energy, where we feel it, or don't, you may not. It takes time to become very aware of our movements, our mindful movements, and noticing inside what is taking place as we're developing better posture, strengthening muscles all across the body and our subtle movements. While we're here, we're going to take a knee over and a leg back. Not to worry if the heel is up while the knee is over that good foot. The front position comes first. And down, turning the hips so that they are side to side as the front leg, toes pointed forward, knee over foot. Again, not worried if the heel is down. It can take time for that to be able to be done, but there's the target. The foot is at basically a 45-degree angle. And then let's lift one arm up and bring it back down. Ready for the other. And still endeavoring that longer exhale. Let's do it again. Well done. Form first. And then adding on that good arm work. It's a lot more work into the legs in this position, so you're welcome to change to just a standing to take it off earlier in the time if need be. Switching those legs, again, knee directly over ankle, foot forward, working that back heel down over time. Let's take the arms into the pattern, remembering you can return to that center, solid position with feet together. We'll take it into the 3. If you're feeling confident of your balance, you can close your eyes. And one more time. Very nice. If you're feeling comfortable here, take both up. Otherwise, move it to a 2-leg position. Let's do 2 more. The 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 intent. Next one on your own breath. No matter if it's faster or slower, not to worry. We're working on gentle, improved movement. Excellent. Let's switch the legs and continue with the 2 arms, checking form. Well done. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Strength and grace, mindfully moving, letting the other thoughts float by. Let's take our standard spot, reflect on the energy, give ourselves good loving in the middle if we're keeping that breath coming down that way to allow this rest and digest area to serve us well. Noticing how energy is the same or different and where we might feel it in our good body since we added a little more tension. We have 5 more minutes, actually closer to 10, to work in mindful movements. At 10:20, in about 15 minutes, we're going to take it down to our body scan and finish there. So we're going to go back down to our table spot, positioning our arms below the shoulders, a straight spine between hip and back. We're intentionally going to bend it this time. On the inhale, we're going to lower. On the exhale, we're going to press the middle of the spine up as we drop the head. So there's no tension in the neck. Inhaling on our lift our head for lifting our spirits, and exhaling on the back bend, being upward. One more, inhaling on the lower, exhaling on the arch in the back. Well done. Let's go to neutral. Release to the back and evaluate where we may have felt energy and tension. Our pause is as important as our positions. Returning to tabletop, now we're going to take a leg focus, raising one leg, and the idea of lower and upper. Let's switch and do the other. The leg raise. Don't be concerned at what level. Our intent is to just add tension in it and a little bit of the arm work. Let's do 2 more times. If you're not comfortable with that downward position, just hold in place. And then we'll switch the leg. The inhale on the lift, the exhale on the lower, the inhale and the exhale. Good job. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now let's check for energy. Letting your back relax in that backdrop position. Returning to our table, hand under shoulder, knees under hip. A coordinated movement is to lift that leg and the opposite arm, going for long length on the inhale, going back down to table on the exhale, switching to the other, opposite leg and arm, then bringing it back down. Excellent. Let's do 2 more sets. Getting longer is the thought goal. Letting that nice long spine be extended with those good arms and fingers and good legs and toes. 1 more. Very nice. Let's return to our table. Take our pause to evaluate energy. For those of you that are feeling strong enough to lift, let's go into this position, working to bring a straight line between the elbow and the tailbone. It takes time, and if you have a mat and you're not slipping, feel free to play around with how you get closer to that spot. If your wrists get tired, feel free to come down and just move at this level. If your wrists are strong enough, you can move back in this level. That inhale coming forward, the exhale going back. This begins to build into the potential of a plank and a back. We're going from a triangle in our spine through our hip hinge into a straight. Here's our triangle. Here's our long line from ankle to shoulder. 1 more time. Very good. Letting the knees come down gently, letting the body evaluate the energy and the tension. Returning once more to table. We're going to take that spine exhale and inhale, drop the belly. Let that curve happen in the back. It will get better over time as we treat our body well and relax into the positions. I'm asking my watch to turn on. I'm looking at my forward clock and our finish one. And this is the close of our mindful movement section. We're going to keep mindfully moving, but we're going to switch it into our relaxing body scan. And if you have a blanket nearby, these are the reminders that having a comfortable cushion, a mat, a supportive block if you're ever not close enough to the ground is an idea too. Hydration is a great idea also. I'm going to take you into the body scan portion. And if you are using a cushion, one position is to be more comfortable in your head and neck area. If your back needs support for our intent for an 8-minute scan today, or your knees may benefit from that, you can use that as you wish. Today we're going to start our scan at the top of our head. Wrists can be up or down. You're recommended to close your eyes to focus more on the relaxation. You can make that choice for yourself. The idea, the very top of the head, putting our focus there with the intent to have it relax. And the forehead, moving our focus further towards our nose with our forehead and the back of the skull, relaxing that area as we move to the eyes and the nose with the middle of the skull having our relaxed focus. Keeping our good breath moving down through that diaphragm, relaxing our lips, our tongue, the area of our mouth and the lower skull, the chin and the top of the neck relaxing, the middle and back of the neck, the lower neck and the upper spine, the collarbone and the back of the shoulders, the shoulder hinges and the shoulder blades in the back. Going to go down the right arm with our focus, the bicep and the tricep in the back, our whole head, shoulder, and our right arm beginning to feel the focus of the relaxation, the good bending elbow area relaxing, the forearm and its other side, the good right wrist, that great right hand, the palm and the upper part of the hand, the knuckles, moving into relaxing each finger, thumb, that good pointer, the long ring finger. Middle finger is that long one, and then the ring finger. The pinky, that whole right arm relaxing on that good shoulder area below that good relaxed head and neck. Drawing our attention to the left shoulder as the left arm begins its relaxation back. The bicep, the tricep, the elbow, forearm, the wrist, the palm, the back of the hand, the knuckles, all 5 fingers, the thumb, pointer, long middle, ring finger, and pinky. Both arms on those relaxed good shoulders up through the neck and the good relaxed head. Moving our attention to our chest, the good upper ribs and back of spine relaxing, middle ribs and middle spine, lower ribs as we work towards relaxing that lower spine, our good belly relaxing. 2 breaths here to relax that good belly into the hip area and all that's in between. 3 good breaths to let that hip area relax. Moving into both legs as the quadriceps on top relax. and the hamstrings below. Let's focus now on just the right leg. Back to the quadriceps and the hamstrings below. That good right knee joining in on the relaxation path that we're following. The shin, the upper lower leg, and the calf, the back lower leg. The good ankle on the right. If you happen to be on the left, just fine. Moving through to that ankle and heel. The top of the foot and the arch of the foot. Letting the relaxation move into the ball of the foot. And each toe, let's start with the big toe. Putting attention on relaxing the second and into the third toe. The fourth toe, and then the smallest fifth toe. That whole leg relaxing. Drawing up back towards relaxing that hip area. Even more in between. That tailbone and sacrum area, the pelvic area, all relaxing. Moving into the other legs, focus on that good quadricep atop and the hard-working hamstring below. Relaxing into the knee and the base of the knee, relaxing into the shin and the lower part of the calf, relaxing into the ankle, down into the heel, relaxing the upper foot and the arch of the foot. Mindfully moving to those toes, just above all 5 of them, and that good ball of the foot. Focused on the big toes relaxation, the second toe. Body's been cooling. You can add a blanket if you haven't already, or if you wish to finish. The third toe relaxing and the fourth. That fifth toe relaxing. We're going to take 10 good breaths in this relaxing position. If you are adding clothing or a blanket, or already have, and you're in your first or second or third breath, continue lengthening that breath as you are able, using the target of the longer exhale from our earlier practice. Remembering to wiggle a little bit if any tension is built up, to release that tension, to enjoy those last several mindful breaths. Still letting the outside thoughts drift by like they're just floating by on clouds. To be taken up at another time if needed. A couple more breaths, a couple extra if your breath is faster. Mindfully continuing if your breaths are slower. Each of us is unique, fearfully and wonderfully made in God's image, to draw back to my faith point. That may be yours as well. good inhales, taking in the good stuff, exhaling all that doesn't serve us. Beginning to wiggle the toes now, bringing the body back into a moving position. We had started with rotating those wrists and intended to rotate our feet, adding in those gentle, mindful movements. We've worked to coordinate the right and left sides of the brain, moving just the right hand and the left foot, reversing as you wish. Not worried if you're making a fist or have an open hand. Not worried about the range, just mindful of the movement. Closing your eyes again if you like, or if you've just kept them that way. Switching to the other hand and the opposite foot. Thinking about the space they're using, being mindful of the place they take around your body. Imagining strings connected, more space being used. Let's flex the feet and raise the arms, waking our body up a little more. No worries if you, for those that may sleep through the next social section that's shared with our next group coming in for lively Zumba. And as you're ready, it's good to start with a knee up opposite the side you're turning to, letting the arms support your gentle raise, coming into a seated position. Whether or not you have the flexibility to sit with a tall spine, whether or not you need to support or lengthen or bend those legs, feeling comfortable in your sit position, coming up to a standing position when you're ready. And I look forward to having you join again for a somatic session. Our focus will change a little bit next week, but we'll continue to keep that deep breath to allow the belly area to rest and digest. That allows more energy for your day sooner or later. We add our mindful movement, and today's and this week's intent was to provide a deep enough breath to allow the right and left hemispheres to operate in alternate movements and also in combined movements as we added other parts of the body. I'm going to end the recording here with a well wish for your day. Looking forward to having you join us in the future.